everyone, Ryan from Gray's Classic Cars. Now at the moment at Gray's we've got three very interesting race cars. We've got a Group C Torana, we've got a Group C Mazda RX7 and we've got a BMW 635i Group A car. So the Torana we've got is a Group C Torana. It was first built and raced by Phil Arnell way back in 1975. Now back in those days you'd either get a shell from Holden or you go and buy a car, a second-hand road car. Well, at the time Phil could not get a shell off Holden, so he bought an actual SLR 5000 and built it into the L34 race car. Now he campaigned for a couple of years at Phillip Island, Amaroo, Bathurst and other circuits around Australia. Now during this period, Harry Firth from the Holden dealer team used that car to homologate the next coming A-on-X version. So the car's got a pretty interesting history. Later on, he sold it to Phil Lyon, I think around 1979, and Phil campaigned it in A-on-X guise under the income tax professional livery. It was painted bright yellow and that's the way the car presents today. Now, it was a pretty famous car and a pretty well-known car for a privateer's car. Phil also campaigned a lot of circuits and it featured in a lot of magazines. And as a privateer, he was a pretty competitive driver. So the car's turnkey, ready to go. It's got all the CAMS paperwork that comes with it. And if you're a racing fan like me, you'd love to jump into something like this and put it in your collection or take it out on club days. If you've been following motor racing in Australia from the 70s and the 80s, you'll remember when Alan Moffat debuted the Mazda RX7 in Australian motorsport.
In the ready round one of the National Touring Car Championship for 1983. First place today at Calder Motor Raceway will go to Alan Moffat. Here he comes across to pick up the checkered flag.
He was super competitive in the car, even though it rubbed a lot of fans the wrong way because he's always been a Ford guy. The car was great, it was lightweight and very, very popular with certain parts of the crowd. Now, because of Moffat's success in that car, some privateer teams decided to follow the same path. Back in 1983, Terry Rian bought this RX7 and built it into a race car. Now, the car has done 3 Bathurst races. It was also raced at Amaroo Park and other circuits around Australia. And it's a very, very well put together and now fully restored little race car. It comes with all the proper CAMS paperwork with it. Again, this is another turnkey car ready to race. It's got a good pedigree and they certainly are a very, very popular car now in historic racing. The BMW 635 Group A car we've also got coming up. Now this car was built in the UK and raced in the UK Touring Car Championship way back in 1984. It was one of only 2 right-hand drive cars built at that time. Charlie O'Brien from Australia later in 1985 went over and purchased the car and brought it back to Australia. Now the first time I heard one of these 635s racing was Jim Richards at Surfers Paradise, and nothing sounds sweeter than those engines singing at about 7,500 revs.
They had an unusual season this year. It got off to a great start at Amaroo Park. Jim got very close to almost beating Robbie Francevic, but not close enough.
Now Richo went on to have a lot of success in the BMWs, so did a lot of other drivers. I think Alan Grice had a go in the BMWs at one stage. This car was campaigned in 2 Bathursts and also in different races around Australia by Charlie O'Brien, and later on John English raced the car at Bathurst as well. Charlie then took the car back to New Zealand and competed in over there. The car has gone through a full nut and bolt restoration. Now when Charlie raced it was in the bumper-to-bumper iconic yellow colour. Then when John English raced at Bathurst it went back to white with the BMW red and blue stripes on the front and on the rear. That is how the car presents today and it looks absolutely stunning. It's had a full nut and bolt resto, as I said. It's built back to 1986 specs with a bigger valve head and all the right gear in it. And I actually rang John English the other day and spoke to him about this car and he fondly remembers it. In fact, he inspected it after it just had its restoration finished and said it was 100% correct. And it's a great car and he had fond memories of racing this car at Bathurst. It's got all the CAMS paperwork and this really is a fantastic car and they are super popular in historic racing and they sound as sweet as anything. Nothing sounds better than BMW singing in big revs. Now this car's ready to go, so if you're a BMW diehard and you like the Group A days of racing, I'd definitely have a look at this car. So that's our 3 Bathurst race cars that are coming up. Just let us know in the comments, have you guys seen these cars race before? Did you remember those cars, or which one of the 3 is your favourite? And also, if you've got any collector cars at home or old cars or anything you're thinking about moving on, give us a call on 1300 Classic or shoot us an email to classic@grays.com.au.